Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. This is the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. I borrowed this model from my friends at Morgan Buick GMC, and we're going to take a look at what you can expect to find if this is something you want to buy. Let's talk about some of the features, first of all, that make this truck very enjoyable to drive and use. It has a nice long interior. The cab is long. That means you have a lot of space within. It means driver and passengers are going to be very comfortable. And there are 4 different engine options available depending on your needs or simply your desires for that matter. So you have the 2.7 liter, the 3 liter diesel, you have the 5.3 V8 and the 6.2 liter V8. This model has the 5.3 under the hood. You also have plenty of space within the bed with a total of 12 different tie downs, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear on both sides, and the multi-pro tailgate that is one of the greatest multitaskers in the industry. So we're going to try to answer the question today, or give you the information to answer the questions. Do the features match the price on this truck? Taking a look from the front end, this truck obviously has a nice aggressive look and a lot of LED lighting that you're going to see here. We have the LED daytime running lights, and I don't have the fog lights on, but they are down there on the lower portion of the bumper. You will find your tow hooks and obviously a lot of safety features on and around the truck. You can see that by the sensors right there. And one thing that you'll find here, it's not on every single truck, every single trim level, but it is here. That is not only the forward-facing camera, but the front camera washer. Let me show you how that works. So for the convenience of the video, I'm going to bring the front camera up. Well, I say I'm going to. There we go, on the screen so that you can see what's going on. And to use the front camera washer, you've probably been using it all along and didn't even know it. Maybe your truck has this feature, but you use this button. So every time you run the windshield washer fluid like that, that is what happens. It sprays a stream of windshield washer fluid across the front camera. So in case you were curious about that, you may or may not have known about that. So just kind of curious about what your thoughts are on that. Some of you knew it was there, some of you didn't, but now you know for sure. Obviously this is the Texas edition. You're going to have a lot of chrome in a lot of different places. We saw it with the front bumper, with the front grille. We see it with the mirror caps. Something else that's here that will be very beneficial is that these heated power adjustable and power folding side view mirrors have built-in LED lighting right here. That's not the only place you're going to find lighting that is very useful. You'll obviously find the cab light up there, which is nothing unusual, but you'll also find the in-bed LED lighting. As you can see, that will be on both sides, angled towards the front of the bed. And also, you're going to have the light right here on the tailgate that will help make things a lot easier as well after dark, as far as seeing what's going on when you're loading, unloading, whatever it is you may be doing. And for those of you who may say, hey Tom, how do I make my lights do that? Or maybe you're saying, is that flickering effect a malfunction? It's none of the above. You can't make it do that. It's not a malfunction. It's not really happening. With your human eye, you can't see that happen. That has to do with my camera that I'm filming with. A lot of people that use different types of cameras on YouTube, their cameras do that too, just so you know it's not really happening. But we do have additional light here to talk about with the lighting here on the side view mirrors. These are power adjustable, heated, and power folding side view mirrors. We'll also find plenty of lighting with the rear of the truck. We have the cab light, which is nothing out of the ordinary. And for this day and age, neither is the in-bed lighting, but there it is, just so you can see it. Obviously on both sides, angled towards the front of the truck, and a little more lighting here on the tailgate. A lot of lighting on and around the truck, front, rear, even sides, that will make it easy to work after dark. And I told you that these side view mirrors are power folding. Not only power adjustable, but power folding. You'll push that button right there. That folds the side view mirrors in. Just makes things very easy to deal with. And you can see that this is the Texas edition. It's going to have a lot of chrome on and around the truck, front, rear, on the sides here, with the front grille, the bumper, the rear bumper as well, the mirror caps, and even some on those side steps right there. And here's your remote for 2024. No changes where that's concerned. This is the same remote the truck has had since 2022, but it is effective. It does have the Remote start built in, also chrome door handles, and here on the front doors you're going to find the button right here. What is that? That's passive entry, so that means you can lock and unlock all 4 doors as long as you have the remote on your person. And when you're driving down the road and you come to a stop at a red light or a stop sign, nobody can walk up and push that button and open your interior. The truck will sense that the remote is inside and keep that from happening. Now, we don't have power side steps on this particular model. That's not necessarily a big deal for most people. One thing that I do like here, the affixed in place steps, is that you still have the ability to use the step back here to gain access to the bed in this front area of the bed right here. So if you have something you need to reach in there and grab, that makes it a lot easier. There's your X31 logo. And I really like these nice deep corner steps. Very easy to use to hop into the bed, plenty of room. You have a really big foot, it's still going to fit on there nicely. You can obviously approach it from a couple of different angles. That is helpful. And the Multi-Pro tailgate offers a lot of functionality and a lot of options. Obviously, it functions as your traditional tailgate. But what else can it do? Well, let's take a look at exactly what those features are. So let's make sure Tom hits the right button right here. So there we go, hit that top button. This area comes down. You can use that as a table. You can use that in so many different ways. That is a good thing. You can also raise what is ultimately the step, but you can use it as a bed extender, as you can see. And let's close this back up. But that's not all there is. I don't mean to sound like an infomercial. There's actually a second way to use the bed extender, just like that. So once again, if you need something to butt up against that for some reason that's in the bed, well, you have space for that. Just makes things a little more simplified, maybe a little more peace of mind. You can tie it down and butt it up against that area. And before I show you how the step works, one thing I like about this is that when you lower it like this, if you need to gain access to maybe somewhere in the rear and you need to reach in, but it's just not necessary to hop all the way into the bed, that helps you to do that because it gives you that much more space to get into the bed. Also, like I said, there's your step. It has the graphite, almost like grip tape on a skateboard material. I don't remember if the grip tape on a skateboard was that aggressive, but there it is. And you also have the handle right here. Probably a little bit more necessary to use when getting out than getting in. I don't know that you really need it in either situation. And you also have the lighting back here. This is more lighting. I don't have the lights on right now, but you can see the lights on each side right there. So if you're curious about that, that's what you have. Obviously the bed liner, you're going to have really a truck that could offer a lot in the way of tailgating. There is the power outlet. There's a lot of potential with what we have here. Depending on how your GMC Sierra is equipped, max payload comes in at 2,340 pounds. It can tow up to a max of 13,200 pounds. And there's one thing here that's on these GMC trucks. It's also on the Chevrolets, obviously the Silverados, but the stickers right here. So what happens is all of this information lets you know how to figure out what you can actually tow depending on your situation, depending on the overall weight of the people in the cab, also the weight of the payload. So all of that factors in. Just because this truck is capable, when properly equipped, of towing up to 13,200 pounds, that doesn't actually mean you can tow that amount in every single situation. And when it comes to the rear seating area, nice large door bins, comfortable armrests, and I like the built-in storage right here that definitely offers more than a lot of other trucks on the market do. Now, you're not going to find that on every single trim level of the Sierra, but obviously here on the SLT, under the seat, not only additional storage on both sides, but also the tools needed for changing a tire. You have the rear seat pockets on both sides here, and also you're going to have drink holders, a couple of USB connection options there. These are for the heated seats back here. I would love for that to be ventilated today because it is rather warm. We're heading for 90 degrees in Northwest Louisiana on September 22nd. That's right. Air conditioning vents and additional cup holders. This truck is not hurting for cup holders, that's for sure. the cup holders here, part of the fold-down armrest. Now, this particular model does not have a sunroof. For me personally, that's a good thing. If you open your sunroof enough times, eventually they leak. That's why I prefer not to have one. As we take a look in through the front door on the passenger side, obviously plenty of space, just like we saw with the door bins on the rear doors. You will find the power seats for the driver and obviously the passenger here. Let's get that out of our way for just a second. And you will also find the upper and the lower glove boxes. A lot of different storage options throughout the truck, and it doesn't end there. You also have storage on the side of the center console right here. I'm going to use that handy dandy grab handle right there. And if you haven't looked at these trucks for a couple of years, in 2022 there were some changes here. Let's talk a little bit before we get to one certain place. There are your USB ports, obviously everything for controlling the air conditioning. But you might say to yourself, where is the wireless charging pad? It's located right here. It's in a completely different place. It's not new at this point, but it is something that did debut for the 2022 model year when we saw a refresh for these trucks. And as you can see right here, you have additional USB options and a power outlet, a very deep center console. You have the removable tray right there that definitely helps in a multitude of ways, and a little bit more storage space right there above the infotainment screen. And here on the driver's side door, you pretty much saw what was here earlier. I don't know if you saw the seat memory settings. Two different settings there for the driver. All of the controls here for your power parking brake, your driving modes, and everything here for the lighting on the exterior of the vehicle. You do have a power adjustable, tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel, and when you hop into the truck, you will also see the animated graphics. I'm showing you what's here. A lot of you might say, I don't care about that. That's understandable, no big deal. But we're showing you everything that you pay for, at least for the most part. I'm trying just to hit the highlights here. Now, a big change for 2022 came with this dash. The overall design, especially with the infotainment screen and the digital dash. And this digital dash is actually fully customizable. So what I'm going to do is arrow over right here. You can see display layout. We can change the left side. We can change the right side, lower gauges, info page options. It's all here. There is so much going on you can do. If you wanted to get rid of that image of the truck right there, you can do that. And if you ever need to reset, you can do that as well. That's where you will do that. It does have the digital speedometer up there. There's a lot going on here, that's for sure. You're going to have your shifter paddles for working your way through the 10-speed automatic transmission that this truck offers, and also the controls on the back of the steering wheel for the radio on both sides for controlling the station and the volume. Quite a bit going on where that is concerned. And you also will find that you have a very nice screen here, really large. Definitely looks more modern than it has in several years. I know in the last couple of years, a lot of you were saying that everything looked antiquated. Probably not saying that now. You do have Google Assistant here that I'm not going to demonstrate because I don't want to set off any devices in your homes. I've done that in the past. I'm not going to do that this time. But you know how that works. You can also push right there on the screen and say whatever you need to say. There's a lot going on. You also have your cameras right here. Let's take a look at what we have. Multiple views. There's your front. There is your rear. We'll also take a look overhead. Two different views right there. And also with the side view mirrors, you also have two different views where that is concerned. I'll tell you what, there is so much going on here. I could do a video on just this section of the truck all by itself. Wireless capabilities for your phone. You don't have to have a USB cable to connect your phone. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can go in to trailering and do all kinds of different things there. You have your settings for the vehicle. Literally everything you could want is here. And here are several one-touch buttons. You also have your knob right there for the stereo and your one-touch buttons. I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit there, but I think you know what all is here. Dual zone climate control. You have heated and thankfully for a day when it's going to be 90 degrees, ventilated seats as well. That is helpful. There is the button to start and stop the engine. And the shifter right here. Do you like it? Do you not? Would you rather have a column shifter? Tell me what your thoughts are. And for those of you who are raising your hands wanting to ask a question, and that question was, hey Tom, you gonna tell us about what's under the hood? You've normally done it by now in the video. I know, I almost forgot. Thankfully, you reminded me. So, the 5.3 liter V8 is what we have under the hood here. 355 horsepower, 383 pounds-feet of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And in case you're curious about MPGs, well, here's what we have. 15 city, 19 highway, 17 combined, and 5.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And if you're saying, well, how much gas can this truck's gas tank hold? 24 gallons. What exactly is it like to drive this truck? Well, it's a very enjoyable truck to drive and has good working brakes for when people cut the corner way too close when they turn in front of you like that. I try not to do that, by the way. Even in this big truck, it's not hard to avoid. It's just, you just have to think and pay attention. That seems to be a problem today with many drivers. Okay, sorry, that was my squirrel moment. This truck is enjoyable to drive. It has plenty of power to get down the road, and while it's not the most powerful engine available, it definitely does a good job of getting this truck down the road. And by the way, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, the fact that you have the 3 driving modes. You have sport, off-road, you also have normal. So depending on what you want to do or need to do, well, there you go. There are your options. That Prius is probably moving about as fast as it possibly can right there. Squirrel, again, had to say something. Very comfortable as far as the interior goes. Yes, it has kind of your typical truck-like ride quality. It's not bad. It's not going to absolutely beat you to death on most road surfaces, at least. Some of that's really dependent on the road you're driving on. But overall, a very enjoyable truck to drive with plentiful space within the interior for the driver and the passengers. Everything is nice and easy to get to. And one thing I can definitively say about these GM vehicles, whether it's the Silverados or whatever it is, the technology is very easy to learn. Even when you have the latest, as we have here in these particular models of trucks from GMC, very simple. And the good thing is that you have Google Assistant now that allows you to basically have, well, I'm not going to say endless, but there are a lot of voice commands you can give. A really nice truck. It's really going to have a lot more features than what we used to see on trucks. And I know there are varying opinions about that. People saying, oh man, I just want a good old-fashioned truck that will haul things. Well, this one will do that, but it does a whole lot more. Really along the lines of what I would call a luxury truck. Not quite on par with the Denali Ultimate, but you also aren't paying nearly as much. Okay, tell me what you think. Do the features match the price on this 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT? Obviously, you can go down in trim level, you can go up in trim level. Just depends on what your situation is, how much you want to spend, or what your needs are on what you do with that. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this truck for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. And if you would like to watch additional videos on vehicles you may wish to learn about beyond this particular model, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.